So many people are talking about the cost in following Jesus. This actually comes from Jesus when he says, concerning following him, count the cost. Something that I think we forget is that this word cost implies a value system. This is important, this is not important, this is valuable, this is not important. This has to do with seeing things and the way that you value them. So cost means there could be loss. Cost means that there's price involved. It has to do with a value system. And when Jesus says, count the cost, we forget a lot of times that this phrase is coming out of the mouth of the most perfect, most beautiful, matchless Son of God. I think Paul picks it up and he says this, I count all things as loss compared to the excellency of knowing him. So Paul grabs that whole understanding of value system and he puts everything in life that you may think to be very valuable next to the person of Jesus, and he says it's rubbish, it's garbage to me. It's almost like if I bought a camera from Amazon and it arrives at the house and you say, oh, here's your camera. And when I grab the box, you say, but you have to open it. And I think to myself, well, of course I've got to open it. And after I do open it, I just discard the box because of the value of the camera. The box doesn't mean anything. It's forgotten and becomes garbage next to the value of the camera. I think a lot of times what happens when we begin to talk about the cost is we forget that compared to Jesus, no matter what it may, quote, cost us or what is lost, Jesus is so much greater and more beautiful and more satisfying than anything that we could ever lose. And I think sometimes we focus so much on, quote, the cost and forget the beauty of the one who's speaking out these things. It's almost as if Jesus is saying, what in your life is more valuable to you than me? When he says, count the cost, he's basically saying, is there anything that is more valuable to you than having me? And I think of things that could be valuable to us. A lot of times I think our pride is very valuable to us. And when we put it next to Jesus, our pride is nothing next to Jesus. To have him is greater than having all the accolades in the world. To have him is greater than having all the riches in the world. But to the degree that we value something more than Jesus, we'll feel great pain in just choosing him. What we need, again, in Christianity is a fresh vision of the beauty of Jesus, the majesty and supremacy of his person, so that the cost doesn't have our eye, but he has our eye. Because if we value the cost or focus on the cost more than Christ, we can slip ourselves up and become very heavy. Look at what I've lost. But let's say with Paul, compared to knowing him, everything is garbage. Whatever it may be that I lose, it's worthless to me. It's dumb.